Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gabriel Mazon. I'm a sacred music teacher from Brazil, and I do teach Gregorian chant and organ. So, if you do want to learn one of those, contact me. The link is in the description below. Let's talk today about the chant that must not be forgotten. Actually, that is Gregorian chant, and that is something that matters, and not just a little bit, for Catholics. We are going to say that the Gregorian chant actually represents the tradition of the church through music. There's a liturgist here in Brazil called Father Hoyce, and he says that the Gregorian chant is the perfect expression of the faith. And why does he say that? It's because the Gregorian chant works in the sensibility, works through the senses, but not stopping in the senses, not stopping in the sensibility, but going further, searching for the rational part of us, the rational part of our souls. The Gregorian chant wants to express the text like giving to it a life, and he wants to express that to us. Gregorian chant is so not just a tradition, it is the official chant of the Catholic Church. And who says that? The popes say that. Not just the pope, but tradition tells that to us. Actually, popes started writing about music just a century ago with Saint Pope Pius X. We do have a letter from John the 22nd called Docta Sanctorem Patrem, which already talks about this, about preserving the chant of our past generations, preserving the chant of the church. He talks about that. But it is actually St. Pope Pius X that really set the laws for the Catholic chant. So we see saints and musicologists and theologians proposing that the Gregorian chant is the chant of the church because of its identity, its principles, its way of being sung, and all those aspects, the way it is composed, how it translates the texts, how the modes works, which relates to the soul and all those things. Because actually the Catholic tradition on music relies a lot on the Greek theory, but it has actually been improved by the Catholic Church because of its grace, because of the church graces. So the Gregorian chant is really praised by the saints of the church through tradition, even before those documents, right? So it is something that is traditional to us. Don Gajard, which was a monk of Solesmes, has said, Gregorian chant is par excellence the chant of the Roman Church. It is at once noble, sublime, accessible, universal, and enduring. It is noble because no other secular style has always used the same style of composition that Gregorian chant. It really fits the sacred and was made for the sacred. And that's also why he's sublime, and he's also accessible. Today we just don't hear it, but when we have the habit of hearing Gregorian chant, we are used to it. We notice how Gregorian chant is actually predictable and how it has some patterns, and it repeats those patterns again and again and again and again. So it is actually accessible. We just don't hear it today. And it is universal because it represents the whole musical tradition of the Roman liturgy, right? Of course, there's polyphony, but when we talk about that chant that came from the apostles, that were not a development of the comprehension on music and stuff, we are talking about Gregorian chant, okay? And we don't need to think too much to understand why it is eternal, why it transcends time, because it is founded in tradition, and its ideal is to represent eternal truths. So it must also be immutable, like the truth that it represents, right? So that's why Gregorian chant, even for the masses of 55, for example, like the Assumption of Our Lady, it was composed in the same manners, the same forms as the old Gregorian chants. It actually also reunites the faithful in above one style and expression of faith, because it rises above our personal tastes. Modern church music actually is really related to fleeting trends and personal taste, and those are some of the aspects that makes it loses the ground when we talk about union of the church. It actually divides. The modern church music actually divides the people, because even though each one of those who go to the church today and experience the new music, even though all of them in some way experience the music, it is so subjective. Their experiences is so subjective that if they were to talk one to another about the experience they had, you would have the same number of experiences as the number of people that were in the church at that moment. So it actually weakens the very communal spirit of the Catholic worship, that is external and internal. Okay. St. Pope Pius X says also that some of the qualities of the Gregorian chant, that the sacred chant, is those of holiness. So it must be preserved. The form of the holy chant must be preserved for the holy things. Delicacy, because it needs to move the soul with delicacy towards the sacred and the good through beauty, and must be universal, as we already talked about. So Gregorian chant was designed to be eternal and to communicate the eternal truths of the church by the way of sound. If you want to learn more about that, about Gregorian chant and its philosophy and how to sing it and how to play it, just contact me. The link is here in the description. Thank you. We see you in another video.